Chapter 10, I am going to die. Of course, this is not my intention to want to make T.A.G hurt. Yan Mo looked at his right hand. Banished guide, really, it's not that I don't want to stop the pain for T.A.G, there is really too few tools, just a few needles, there are so many acupuncture points. In order to save his life I have to choose between pain relief and inability to move, I can only choose the latter. I believe you can understand it. Yuan Diao listened to the language he could not understand. He couldn't help but stare at him for a while. Cao Ting only understands that Yan Mo is using a healing spell. He used his strange tone and voice to read his right hand when he was treating his leg injury. Just in the moment when Yan Mo was about to kneel down, Yuan Shan suddenly sighed, "Wait." The words fell. Someone was pulled. Yan Mo stopped and everyone turned around and looked at the direction of Yuan Shan. Soon everyone heard a scream that didn't belong to Yuan Shan. After a while, Yuan Shan grabbed the neck of a slave and walked into the open space. Cao Ting frowned. This slave, she knew him, he used to flirt with her, he was one of the slaves belonging to Yuan Bing, a third-tier fighter, called his name was Yangshi. 1. Yangshi equals sheep tongue. You have dirted my hand, I have to wash it again. Yuan Shan screamed and threw the person to the side of the open space, and slammed his foot on the slave. Get him out, he's too dirty, and he brought mosquitoes flies with him. Yan Mo said coldly. Yuan Shan did not say anything, but bent over and grabbed the paralyzed slave and threw him away from the open space. The surgery started, there were no suitable tools for anything, and nurses without skilled cooperation slowed down Yan Mo's speedy surgery. Yuan Diao was responsible for widening the cut wound. He is a warrior, so he knows more about what Yan Mo is doing. There is not a knife which can cut the flesh on his stomach without hurting the internal organs. It's not that anyone can cut the cutting edge exactly the size they need, let alone do like what Yan Mo has done. Yuan Diao felt that even the fat dog in the tribe who was responsible for slaughter was not as good as Yan Mo's understanding of the human body structure. No, maybe he should not compare the fat dog with Yan Mo. Yuan Diao looked at Yan Mo, who was silently cutting Yuan He, and felt a chill hit his heart. This young boy knows the structure of the human body so much that he can completely paralyze Yuan He with a few needles, so that he can't move even a finger. With his hand, the boy plays with a knife at a fixed effort, plus with the indifference Yuan Diao saw on Yan Mo head when cutting the human body. His strength is also keeping up. How big is this child-killing power? Yuan Diao began to pray for his good brother in his heart. Maybe he should advise Yuan Zhan to suppress the boy before he grows up? Of course, if Yuan Zhan wants to have a slave who can help him fight and hunt, then he alone is left with advantages. But if he waits after the boy's military value has risen, can Yuan Zhan still suppress him? Yuan Diao is really worried about his good brother. Cao Ting, wipe the sweat off your master. Yan Mo, who looked down, suddenly said. Cao Ting, who had been wiping a sweating Yan Mo, immediately raised her hand to wipe his sweat. Yuan Diao had not discovered until this time. In order to keep the wooden planks holding the wound open still, he had already sweated out, and the sweat dripped down the chin to the ground. In order to prevent the sweat from accidentally dripping onto Yuan He, Yuan Diao had leaned back a little further, and his arms had to stretch even more straight. The slats are so light, but the cutting edges are separated on both sides. Why does he feel so tired? He can lift the sheep with one hand and never feel tired. Cutting off the rotten intestines, put the healthy parts back in the stomach, and stitch the two pieces together. Straight needles naturally have no curved needles to use, but this is not so difficult to Yan Mo, the pain is only felt by Yuan He. The strong warrior bit the animal skin and tears flowed out of his eyes. He was sore that the wanted death, but he even admired the boy, because he just had to hold back and not scream out. There was no need to worry that the body would struggle because of severe pain. Cao Ting was nervous and stared at the wound. As soon as blood flows out, she quickly wipes it off with a soft, boiled, and dried hay. She thought that she would see a lot of blood, but she didn't know what the boy had done. Yuan He, who was cut open belly, did not bleed a lot of blood, and this made Cao Ting involuntarily awe. This is the power she could not understand. She only thought that it can be regarded as the power given by God. There are people who have such an idea. 1. 6 years of bachelor in medicine and surgery will do that for you. Heck, even my clinical officer diploma hardly comes closer. T.A.G. action. But the sacrifice was originally done by the witch who communicated with the gods, and the witch were the closest to God. It is not surprising that Yan Mo is definitely certainly a disciple to a priest. Although she was shocked by the ability of Yan Mo. Let go of the hands. Yuan Diao heard the 2 words as clear as the sound of the day. He immediately took back the wooden planks at the fastest speed, and then hid to the side and began to vomit. The time for the operation was not long. Yan Mo is a scum arrogant man, but his medical skills are really on the highest level and he still has an advantage. He is also a proud and self-sufficient doctor, that is, he is very strict with his medical skills. About attitude, whether he has a bad attitude or not, in diagnosis, surgery, acupuncture and prescribing drugs, he will never allow himself to make even a small mistake. Even if he is a scum and a bad person, he is also a bad guy with good skills. And this is why some people who know that he is a bad guy, knowing that he will do his duties as a doctor with utmost attention, is the reason why they go knock on his door. Yan Mo cut the hair strand that acted as a suture and completes the final stitching. Appreciating the stitches stitched by himself for a while, he found that his proficiency and precision was not as good as before, and immediately decided to start practicing the flexibility of the hand from today. Yan Mo shouted for He Tu on the side to come with the medicine. As a result, Yuan Shan and Yuan Dia ran together to see Yuan He's stomach. Yuan He was pale and covered with sweat. The whole person was weak to the extreme, but if he could move, he would also like to look up at his stomach. It seems that the vitality and tolerance of the primitive people here are really strong. Yan Mo itch, he really wanted to dissect a primitive person to see, if it can be alive afterwards, it is best. It's amazing. The Salt Mountain people can still do this. Stitching up. Yan Mo taught them to use the new vocabulary, and the pronunciation is of course the Chinese universal sound. Stitching, right, stitching. Yuan Shan learned the new vocabulary and smirked. He was staring at his brother's belly and looking at it nicely. If it wasn't for Yan Mo's strict don't touch the stitching, he would like to reach out and touch the seam. He too ground the leaves and squeezed them into the husband's face, squatting down and smearing the smashed juice of the big stalks. The toughness of the hair can't be trusted. Before the wound heals, you'd better not move, especially the abdomen. You can't yourself to do anything before I allow it. Meat and any other solid foods can't be eaten. If you can get yellow rice, that's good, make sure it is cooked into a porridge, the thinner the better. In these 2 days, you can only drink water, you can add a little salt, add strength, proportion, etc. I will tell Sister He Tu what to do. Yan Mo said this while looking at Yuan He. In fact, the warning was meant for He Tu. If you don't want to save the stomach, you can't eat anything. Remember? He Tu nodded. Yuan He looked sad. I knew him in the first 2. Eat more in the day. Yan Mo yelled at him and smiled sternly. Durenda He, fortunately, you didn't eat much after you got hurt, otherwise your intestines will be rotting out, and the leaked food will make other internal organs also rot. Don't say me at the time, that is, even my master may not be able to save you. Heaven! Fortunately. Formerly revived by Yuan he was also scared pale. There was a cold sweat on He Tu. She tried to force her man to eat for the past 2 days. Fortunately, her man's temper, and another heart for his wife and son, really. God bless. Yuan Diao touches his chin. Who is this master? The name and honorary name of the old man that taught him the skill? Cao Ting whispered, Little Mo, about Durenda He, the arm, is it also going to be dealt with today? Do you want to take a break? Seeing Yuan's physical strength can still support it, Yan Mo nodded and decided to clear the rotten in his arm. And it was processed today. Yuan Shan suddenly took the wooden scoop and took the warm water to Yan Mo's mouth. Yan Mo scoffed and said thank you and bowed his head to drink. Yuan Shan waited until he finished drinking, only to withdraw his hand, but also patted the boy's head. Yan Mo reprimanded him. Remember to wash your hands. Yuan Shan laughed. I know, you can rest assured. Hey, I think my hands have not been so clean in my life. Others listened and laughed together. They all did. Yan Mo licked his mouth and let Cao Ting reboil the water. All utensils needed to be disinfected again. At this resting time, he looked at his right palm. Just after the stitching was completed, his right hand lit up. In the past 2 days, his right hand has been illuminated many times, because he pointed to the tools made by he too and others, taught them some common sense, and that reduced the scum value. Before the operation began, his scum value has been reduced 9999990 points. When Yan Mo's gaze fell to the right hand, the Banished guide was like a sense of induction, showing the content again. Helping someone recover their lives, the scum value is reduced by -100, and the total scum value is 99,999,890 points. Congratulations to the Banished for a one-time reduction of 100 scum values. The second guide to the reformation of the site is available. Special Note 1, please ask to open the second page when you use it, and take the initiative to ask for a specific page. Please ask while looking at your right hand when inquiring. Special Note 2, the use of this guide will increase the scum value and increase the number of points. Please use it with caution. Yan Mo didn't care much about Special Note 2, he was only happy that the second article of the guide was finally available to him. This means that in the future, if he encounters a creature he does not know in this primitive society, he will not have a black eye, he will not be able to stand idle not identifying it. The guide didn't end, and the content shown below almost made Yan Mo scream. Congratulations to the Banished by reduce the value of 100 people in one time, in order to reward the enthusiasm of the Banished, and also to make the Banished carry out better work. Hereby is a reward a set of gold needles for acupuncture, a total of 72 needles. Please go to this guide in the rewards list to receive the reward. Special note, this set of gold needles is unrestricted in its use and it cannot get lost. Please banish and use it a lot of times. Is there really a reward? Still, it's a set of acupuncture gold needles he needed most. Yan Mo's heart was ecstatic, his left hand was tight, his mouth is tilted, and he was so happy that he can't control his face at this time. At the moment, he couldn't help but let the guide show the reward list. The guide flipped, and a blank set of golden needle images appeared on the blank reward list page. There are also instructions below the image. Special note, in order to prevent loss, all rewards can be returned to the reward list for storage after use. Just click on the reward image when you need it, and you can take it out by meditation. Remove XX. When you want to save it, you can use your right hand to cover the rewards, and you can put back the reward list by meditation. Save XX. The guide judged that Yan Mo has finished reading all the content. The page changes, the golden stitch image was reduced, the text disappears, and the list page actually has a one-line form. Number 0001. Product name acupuncture with golden needle. Quantity 72. Function acupuncture. Remarks lost does not make up for it. Yan Mo couldn't help but reach out, he wanted to click on the image, but temporarily retracted his hand. At this time, if suddenly a set of gold needles appear with him, it will be too shocking, and how can he explain the origin of this set of gold needles? Say it is a gift from God? When are the Yuan people such nerds? Even if they believe, who can guarantee that they will not see the needles as treasure? After all, the treasure is God's reward, regardless to what effect it has. If there is a chance to own it, who does not want it? Even if these people in this open space crushed their greed because he saved you, and he who would dare to guarantee that they would not speak of it? Even if they don't kill him for the gold needles, other people will rob him because of greed, and no matter whether he pays the gold needle or not, he will not get anywhere with them in the end. Not for the time being. Yan Mo said softly. The guide acted like it understood his words. The reward page disappears, and returns to the scum value statistics page. Yan Mo thought that the display was over, and he was going to speak Mandarin and that he was going to remove the rotten meat from his broken arm, and saw the guide again, showing another sentence. The malicious intention at the heart caused the patient to suffer pain once. The scum value has increased by +10, and the total scum value is 999,9900 points. A small penalty will be imposed for a one-time increase of 10 points for banished scum. The content of the small punishment is to make the banished feel the pain felt by the patient for 10 minutes, and it is executed immediately. Fuck. Yan Mo only spoke out the word, and the intense pain immediately attacked his nerves. I don't accept it. Yan Mo fell to the ground and screamed with tears. He shouted dissatisfaction in his mouth, but in fact he understood why the guide should punish him. Because he could completely relieve the pain of surgery from Yuan-He, instead of paralyzing his body. If Yuan-He did not feel pain, naturally he will not move during the operation. He wanted to make a reasonable lie, and the result it was turned a blind eye, and the guide was not deceived by him. This fucking world. This fucking guide. Nothing can escape it. A little heartless way to live is not for these people. He is not playing. He is going to commit suicide.